I'm going to go ahead and get started, but can you please raise your hand if you can hear me? Okay, great. And then can you also raise your hand if you can see my PowerPoint that says Girls Academy Facilitator and Fit Training? Great. Okay, so I am going to do a quick disclaimer because my last webinar that I was just on a couple of minutes ago had a glitch in the sound. So if for some reason you stop hearing me, please type in the question or the chat box that you can't hear me, and I will shut the whole thing down and then reboot. But I'll just want you guys to hang out and stay still because I will be back. But for some reason, it didn't like me earlier, and then it worked just fine. And a couple days ago with the fits, it didn't like me at all. So I just want to make sure that we are in good shape. And to try and save some time, we're going to go ahead and get started. I am showing you the PowerPoint that I just gave to the chapter association, or the chapter and the associations, and have added in a little bit more information for you as the facilitators and the fits that will be participating with this program. Feel free to ask questions as we go along, and then I'll leave some time at the end for you to ask questions if you have any questions that you need answered as well. This will also give you an opportunity to see where all of the new resources are for you on the Kappa Cloud, which I'm very excited about because I think it'll be very helpful for you as facilitators and as facilitators in training. So to start, we are going to have 7 spring locations, which is awesome. Okay, hang on. Let me put my PowerPoint in slideshow mode. Okay, can everybody see it now? Is that better? All right. So we will have, okay, that's weird. Hang on just a second. Everybody's saying that nothing changed. Screen sharing. How about that? Did that work? Raise your hand. Nope. Okay, good. All right. So we will have 7 spring 2016 locations. Michigan, UC San Diego, UC Davis, Kansas, Georgia Southern, Emory, and Colorado State. This is solely just for your information. This is the largest number of girls' academies we will have had so far in one semester. So I'm definitely very excited, but it is going to be a lot of work on my end. I am more than likely going to be at the Michigan Girls Academy as well as the Girls Academy at UC San Diego. Not 100% positive. It depends upon what my schedule looks like this spring. But since I have not seen Girls Academy before, I will more than likely be at both. So just FYI, nothing that you have to do special or no. I just wanted to make sure that I was transparent about that. And then resources. So I am going to take us out of the PowerPoint slide really quick so that I can show you where your resources are. I'm sure all of you have seen the resources on the Kappa website under members, and then you go into education, the conferences and events tab. There's a Girls Academy, just as if you were signing up for Leadership Academy or any of the other events that we have. There is also a resources tab for Girls Academy, so I'll show you that when we exit out. But I also want to show you the Kappa Cloud. You all have access to the Kappa Cloud, so if you have not set up your cloud account, please do so. The website is cloud.kappa-kappa-gamma.org. You can sign in. You should be able to sign in just using your member login for the website, and it will give you access to all of the information that we need you to have for this event. So I am taking us out of the screen sharing, and I'm going to put us back on the main screen. Over here. And you will see on the Kappa Cloud, when you log in, it's going to look something like this with My Files, Main Cloud. You will click the Main Cloud, scroll down, and find the Girls Academy Facilitators. With the Girls Academy Facilitators, you are going to see a whole bunch of different tabs in here. Hang on, I have some questions. Okay, you can't see anything. Hang on. How about now? Raise your hand if you can see something. There we go. Okay, so I'll start over. When you log in, it's going to look something like this. Ignore everything that is in the middle because you won't see that when you first log in. You're going to go to Main Cloud, and you're going to scroll down, and you will see the Girls Academy Facilitators folder. Within that folder, you are going to see curriculum and training, curriculum videos, evaluations, event staff materials, facilitator guidelines, and leadership fair. Let me see. It looks like we have some questions. Okay. Nope. We got through those questions. Never mind. And the curriculum and training, there's information within here. The 15-16 curriculum is in here. The curriculum PowerPoint, the Friday night training documents, the Saturday night activity list, the pre-event training, and the pre-work for small groups are within this folder. The curriculum videos, these are all of the videos that you need throughout the program. So I know that some schools you had a hard time with your flash drive and then you tried to get on YouTube and then YouTube was blocked. So you have this access to you now so that all you need is to be able to get onto the Kappa Cloud and they're there as, I believe, MP4 files. Okay, somebody said that my computer tells me that the curriculum PowerPoint is too large for me to access and view. I will look into that because I don't know why it would be doing that. And then I will send it to you. Okay, somebody else said that it was too big as well. The PowerPoint is not in the resources section on the Girls Academy website, but we can get it added since the cloud is not liking us with how large it is. I can get that taken care of, not a problem. I also can probably zip the file so that it is smaller for you. And that way, all you have to do is save it onto a flash drive rather than have to download it once you get to the actual event. So we'll get that taken care of. I will write that down now. That way we know it's too big. So you can see the curriculum videos are all here. The evaluations are also all here. These evaluations currently are only in English. We are in the process of translating them because there are a number of schools that have needed access to Spanish evaluations or evaluations that are in Mandarin. I am not sure if those will be ready for your Girls Academy, but if you have begun to work with your OAC as well as the chapter and know that you are going to need specific language materials, please let me know because we will try and make sure that that is available for you. The event staff materials are also going to be incredibly important for each of you. The confirmation participant letter, the event guide, the contract, the timeline, the manual, the application, all the safety guidelines, everything is in here that you will possibly need. So it's important that you have access to this as well. Facilitator guidelines. Within this, you'll see something that says Girls Academy Lead 1 and Girls Academy Lead 2. These are the job descriptions for a Lead 1 and a Lead 2. It also has a nice timeline at the bottom that shows you exactly what you should be doing each month, each week, each day as you're going through this process. And it gives you a nice timeline as you're getting closer as to what the expectations are for you as well as what the expectations are for the chapter so that you can kind of keep them on board. And then the last folder is Leadership Fair. This is all of the information that you're going to need for the leadership fair. You do get this, but if for some reason something doesn't get printed or you don't have enough materials of something, you can easily print off of one of the documents here. So that's not a problem. I'm going to flip over to the Girls Academy resources on the website, and you'll see this is where the additional resources are. So the training, the donation tracking, the expense requisition form that you may need, all of that stuff is here. And I will see if we can get the PowerPoint to be downloaded here. That way it's nicer with everybody's computer. So stay tuned with that. If I were to have to guess, the PowerPoint doesn't want to download because it has the videos embedded within it. And so it's just making it very large, but I will see what I can do to get that PowerPoint fixed. Okay, I'm going to switch back to the PowerPoint, back to from current slide. And everybody should see my resources in slideshow version, correct? Raise your hand. Okay, great. Okay, so next, funding. I am only sharing this funding information with you just so that you have knowledge of it. All chapters and alumni associations are expected to raise $4,900 for this event. $500 has already been collected from each chapter at a minimum. And we do have one funding assistance chapter this year, which will be raising $2,900. So Emory was granted a $2,000 grant for this, so they are only expected to raise $2,900. Everybody else is at $4,900. Please stay on your chapters and alumni associations to be donating the money, because right now we're not looking so hot with a lot of the donations. I don't know if it's just because they haven't gotten to sending checks in or they haven't really made their big push yet, but their money is due 60 days before the date of their event. And as many of you know, some of these events are beginning in February, so their money is due right around Christmas. And we are not looking so great in that respect. If they don't raise their $4,900 by the deadline, they are no longer permitted to host, and the money that they've raised will be donated back to the foundation into the General Girls Academy Fund. There have been a couple of groups that have not met their deadlines for various reasons, and we have postponed them a semester so that then they can go ahead and they can try and raise the rest of their money, or they can solidify a school or whatever it may be. At this website, you can go to track your funding. So if you click on that, you can see in the bottom right-hand corner the percent to goal that each of these chapters are at. The highest percentage right now, I believe, is Emory at 14%. I'm not sure that tracker is working 100% yet because it doesn't seem to have included everybody's $500 yet. So I am working on getting that fixed, and then we can kind of go from there. But as of right now, this is a good spot for you to see if your chapter and association is making progress towards their fundraising goal. School information. This is not new information for you, but they are expected to host at a middle school, 5th through 8th grade. There were a couple of people that asked if 4th graders could be involved. We really are not encouraging that, but if there are a couple, we're not going to turn them away because you won't know about that until they show up. I did just tell them, please don't have any more 4th graders register or any of that. Like, please be very transparent about that. But we're trying to keep it 5th through 8th. 50 participants is the maximum. We will only send supplies for 55, just in case for some reason something comes and it's damaged, or the school told 52 people they could do it. But 50 is what they have been budgeted for, and 50 is what we send supplies for. So please make sure that your chapters and associations know that as well. If they have less than 50, we still want them to participate, but the school's stipend and their reimbursement will be reflective of the number of individuals that actually attend. We also are asking that you work with your association and your chapter members to get access to the internet as well as Wi-Fi so that you can have access to the Kappa Cloud and the Girls Academy pieces on the website should you need them. My best advice is to get a flash drive and to download all of that stuff onto a flash drive. You all should have them at this point, but if you don't, I would be happy to reimburse you for one. Just buy one and send me your receipt. But that will also help if for some reason they don't follow through and they don't give you the internet access like you need. The school administrator should be on site at all times. And please reiterate to the women, as well as letting them know that they need to talk to the school, that it is an overnight experience. We did have a couple of parents this past fall go to drop off their kids and said, "What time do you want me back here tonight?" And they were very not in the loop about the fact that their daughter was going to spend the night at the school. So we want to just make sure we're being transparent about that. Shipping materials, just so that you know what the timeline looks like for this. The facilitator guides and the curriculum binders will be shipped about 6 to 7 weeks before the event. In the curriculum binders, we will send 12. To a normal Girls Academy, we would send 12. 2 for the lead facilitator and 10 for the small group facilitators. This past fall, there was some confusion and not everybody got one. So please make sure that you are letting them know that they need to have 2 of those binders set aside for you. If you have a fit at your location, an additional binder will need to set aside for each additional fit. So I believe UC Davis is our largest. I will send 15 binders there. 5 of them will be set aside for fit and facilitators, and 10 of them will be for the small groups. Those do come back to me when we're finished, so please make sure that you keep an eye on them. But those, I at least need the binder piece back. Paperwork and the leadership fair materials, so registration, the photo releases, any of the pre or post-event evaluations, and all of the leadership fair materials will be sent to them about 4 to 5 weeks out. That is dependent upon them actually giving me an address that gets to somebody where it needs to be. But they should have that about 1 month out from the event to double check and make sure that they have all of the information that they need. The t-shirts, we will send 80 t-shirts, 30 for event staff as well as you, and 50 for the participants. I do not collect sizes on that. We just have a formula that we order a certain number of sizes, and those will be shipped directly from the company. Same thing with the banner. It's going to be shipped directly from the company as well. And then the program materials, so everything that comes to them to post this program will be shipped about 2 to 3 weeks out. Please ask them to double check each shipment and make sure that they got all of the supplies that they needed. I am human and I do make mistakes. I forgot to send green group stuff somewhere this past fall. They checked the materials and they let me know 2 weeks ahead of time so I could send the signs for the green group right in the mail. Please make sure that they do that. That way it's not the day of the event or the night before the event when they're checking the materials and they notice, oh shoot, we don't have this, and then there's no way for me to get it to you. You will be expected to ship everything back to headquarters after the event is finished. This is the responsibility of the lead too, to make sure that it is completed, but the chapter and alumni association should be doing it. So please stay on them about that, but it is their responsibility to ship it back. So everything that I ship to them, tell them to keep the materials that I ship it in. So the boxes, the purple bins, because those will be helpful for getting it back. I have a question, so hang on. Supplies should be sent hopefully to the chapter if they are housed, but the alumna OAC can also request that it be sent to them. The chapter is supposed to tell me who is going to be receiving those supplies. So they should give me an address and then I will send it to them. I would presume most of them will go to the chapter. I only had one this past fall that asked for it to go to the Alumni Association. If they are not a housed chapter, it could go to their university's like student center as well, but we need a specific person to send it to there because oftentimes those get sent back to us. Facilitators and fit. You all know what a facilitator is. A fit is, I just call it fit because it's along with the Leadership Academy piece, but it's a facilitator in training. We are going to have 1 fit at Emory, 2 at Colorado State, 1 at UC San Diego, 3 at UC Davis, and 1 at Michigan. Biggest thing to remember is that they're there to learn how to facilitate and deliver this curriculum. So they are supposed to soak up all of the knowledge and all of the information that you as lead facilitators can give to them in a weekend's time. Please don't let them run errands. In the past, chapters have just said, hey, oh, we forgot to assign somebody to go pick up lunch. Will you go do it? That's not their responsibility. We want to make sure that they are there and being interactive at all points in time with this event. So please don't let them go do that unless you are really, really in a bind. And then also, they are supposed to, at the end of this facilitation experience, they're supposed to be able to tell me whether they would prefer to be a lead 1, a lead 2, or they wouldn't mind doing both, or if this program just isn't for them. So that is completely fine, but that is something that you will more than likely need to kind of help them with, of just determining, okay, do I like this lead 1 role better, or do I like this lead 2 role better? And they should have the opportunity to get an equal time with both lead 1 and lead 2 when you aren't together, so that they can kind of see the behind the scenes of both positions per se. Pre-training. All chapters are expected to host a pre-training event. This event is in person, and it should be about 3 to 4 weeks before their event. They need to work with the facilitators, the FIT, the chapter alumni associations. Everybody needs to be involved in the conversation when you are solidifying a date and a location for this event. The lead 1 facilitator should be the person facilitating the pre-training, and FITs within driving distance are going to be present at the pre-training as well. Lead 2 is not expected to be at the pre-training. To be very frank, we don't have the funding in order to send a lead 2 to the training, but if you are within driving distance and would like to go, you are more than welcome. I know that there are a couple of people that the lead 1 is within driving distance and lead 2 would like to go. We will work with you to get the lead 2 a flight. We can't have 2 people flying for both the pre-training as well as the actual event, because we just don't have the money in the budget. So we can talk about that, but for right now, please plan on just lead 1 and then FITs within driving distance. Chapters and alumni associations are expected to house and feed you while you are there, and they are also expected to transport you to and from the airport should you need. And like you all know, please plan for a full day training because you will need that time. You also are going to need a location to do it, so make sure that the chapter women are not sticking you in a basement room that's 10 by 10 to try and do this pre-training for 4 to 6 hours. Just be transparent about what you need within that pre-training. Friday night training is going to be about 4 hours. All of the training documents are on the Kappa website, or not the Kappa website, the Kappa Cloud, sorry. And you can look through exactly who needs to be present at each of the points in time. The chapters and alumni associations are going to be working with you to see who needs to be there and when they need to be there. Lead 1, lead 2, and FITs will participate. Typically, this starts around 4 or 5 in the evening on Friday night. So we do ask that if you are having travel arrangements, that you try and be to the chapter house or wherever they are planning on having this training by 3 p.m. that day. And everybody involved in the weekend should be involved in the Friday night training. So event staff, OAC, you guys, chapter women, small group facilitators, etc. The only people that don't need to be involved would be the panel of leaders in the community and the on-site school administrator. Volunteers and event staff, again, you guys don't really need to know a whole lot about this. This is the PowerPoint that I gave to the college women as well as the alumni associations. They will serve as a small group facilitators, the college women. There should be an application process, but these women do need to be available Friday through Sunday. So if they ask you, please make sure to reiterate that. You do have the 2 lead facilitators, which are all of you, the FITs, and then about 20 plus or so event staff. Day of event and event resources. Please try and follow the event guide. It is literally out to the minute of how long you should be doing things and where it should be and who should be involved, and all of the information that you could possibly need is on that event guide. So please make sure that you are following it. It is on the Kappa Cloud as well as the resources, and I believe all of you should have received it at some point in time already this semester. So please make sure that you are following that. Also, make sure to be checking in with the event staff and understand exactly what materials are needed when. RC cars, for example, we don't send the batteries with those. That is the expectation of the chapter and alumni association to buy those batteries. So please make sure that they know that they need the batteries, or please make sure that they know that they need to have food for their kids. So all of these girls need to be fed lunch and dinner on Saturday, and then breakfast on Sunday. So they know exactly what they need. I did talk to them about making sure that they were sensitive towards food allergies and that they worked with the school and to try and stay away from peanuts. But please also reiterate that as well. Saturday night activities, make sure that they have some stuff planned. Games, karaoke, dance parties, sing-alongs, whatever it may be. They can use their imagination and whatever creativity they have in order to keep them involved and engaged on Saturday night. Completely great. I just want to make sure that they actually have something set aside so that they know what to do. This link down here takes you to the website where all of those chapter and alumni resources are. And if anybody needs any help with Saturday night activities, you can reach out to Carol Sanders and Jill Draper. They just did Gamma News Girls Academy, and they did a phenomenal job with their Saturday night activities, and I'm sure that they would be more than happy to share. The chapter women like choreographed dances and a whole bunch of other things, and the girls loved it. So they are more than happy to help with any of that as well. Reimbursements. If the chapter needs reimbursed for something that they bought, i.e. batteries, they can be reimbursed. They must submit their reimbursements to me within 3 weeks of the event, and they need to have their receipts. We really do like to have the originals, but if we can't have the originals and it's just a scanned copy, that works as well. Same goes for you guys. If you need to be reimbursed for something, please let me know. We can make that happen. Airport parking, travel to and from the airport, whatever it may be, let me know. We'll get it taken care of. School reimbursement, reports, and evaluations. So the school will be reimbursed only if they submit a reimbursement form to CABA headquarters. This is not your responsibility. This is not the responsibility of the chapters or the alumni association. This is solely the responsibility of the school. They are only reimbursed up to $1,000. We do have like a funding formula for that. So they receive $1,000 if they have 50 participants, and we receive 80% of their post-event evaluations. If we don't receive 80% of their post-event evaluation forms, then it is a prorated amount. Say they only have 20 participants and we get 80% of the evaluations back. Essentially, for each evaluation we get back for each participant, it's $20. So that school would be then given $400. So they have a maximum of $1,000. That's best case scenario. There is no more. So if they ask additional questions, you can direct them towards me, but that's where we cut off at. We also do not pay for any sort of reservation fee for their space. That $1,000 is supposed to cover any janitorial reservations or anything that they have to pay their on-site administrator since they're there all night. That is not something that our chapter women or alumni association should be funding in addition to the $4,900 that they raise. For you, final reports will need to be completed within 2 weeks of the event happening. I will send you an email with the final report. You will fill that out with lead 1 and lead 2, as well as the OIC and the chapter women that you've been working with. It essentially just gives me all the information that I need for my data reports, and it, as well as the evaluations, should be mailed back with the supplies. If you don't have this final report finished by the time that the supplies are mailed back, that's okay. You can always email me that final report as well. Travel. For those of you that have to book travel, you can book through Diane at Century Travel. Please plan to not book more than 4 to 5 weeks out, because we have had situations where we have had events canceled and people have already had flights, and then we have to cancel their flights and it's already $500 that we can't get reimbursed. So please try not to book more than 4 to 5 weeks out in advance. Fits, you will participate at both the pre-training and the event if you are local. If you're not local, you will only participate in the actual event. Anybody who is driving, you're going to submit your mileage to me. You can find that on the CAPA website with the fraternity requisition form. Lead one will only be attending the pre-training for the facilitation piece. Lead two, you will not unless you have spoken to me. And like I said earlier, you're reimbursed for airport parking or the mileage to and from the airport. We do not reimburse for any food or anything like that unless it is an entire day of travel. And again, we can talk further through that in the future. But the chapter should be expected to pay for all of your food and all of that stuff. While you are there, please plan, especially on Friday night and as well as the pre-training, I would plan on staying either at an alumna member's house or at the chapter house. You probably won't get a hotel. I know some chapters were asking about it, and the facilitator said no, they were fine to stay at the house. So that's not an expectation. Their expectation is just to house you in living accommodations that are reasonable. Communication. Fits should really be included on all communication that you are communicating between the chapter, the Alumni Association, and yourself. And please communicate regularly with the chapter women and the association contacts that you got within your letters that I sent you when I invited you to be lead facilitators. Who they are and what they do is at the bottom of that letter. So those are going to be great contacts for you. I should have put you all in contact at one point in time prior. So everybody should have everybody's information. So please make sure that you're checking in regularly and that you're not having any additional questions that aren't being answered, or that somebody's being left out of the loop because they haven't been on email communication. Mentoring and the post event. We are asking that our chapters and associations host an event 8 weeks after Girls Academy. It can be a mentoring event. It can be them invited to the chapter house. They can do campus tours. They could do a magic show. They can do an ice cream social. They could do a riff event. They can do whatever, again, they can come up with in their imagination to have. But we do like to make sure that this is at least done within 8 weeks of the event. If the event is later in the semester and they don't have 8 weeks, or wouldn't it be beneficial for them to do it, they can always do it in the fall. We just ask that you stay in touch with them to ensure that the event happens. Oftentimes we make a great connection while we're doing the Girls Academy event itself during the 28 hours that you're there, making an impact on them. But then you lose that connection and that opportunity to keep those girls engaged after Girls Academy ends. So if you can make sure that that is happening and that they are planning that, that would be great. The curriculum and event guide, I am presuming everybody has reviewed the curriculum and the event guide at this point. If you haven't, it's found on the CAPA Cloud. Please read through all of this information diligently and send me any questions that you may have before Christmas so that I can address them and so that I can get the answers back out to everybody. And then we are working on translating materials into Spanish and Mandarin. So we talked about that a little bit earlier. I am not sure if those materials are going to be ready to go by the time your Girls Academies are happening this spring, but we are revamping a lot of the materials so that that will be available for them for sure fall of 2016. So that was kind of everything that I have for right now. I know that I said that we would go over the logistics and have any questions about curriculum, event guides, that kind of a thing. But the main thing that I wanted you to see was where all of your new resources are online. So you should have easy access to all of those things at this point now. But before we hop off, I just want to see if there are any additional questions that I can answer for anybody. Okay, do me a favor and raise your hand if you have a question that you're going to ask, but it's just not come in yet. Okay, got a question. Never mind, not a question. Thank you, Barb. Okay. I don't believe we have any questions. You all know how to get a hold of me because I have sent you multiple emails. If you need me, please feel free to reach out to me. Like you all know, I'm in the office 8:30 to 5 Eastern Standard Time. So those of you that are not in my time zone, if you call me later in the evening, I will get back to you first thing tomorrow morning. And in the meantime, if you are missing anything or have any questions about your duties and responsibilities, please feel free to reach out to me. Look on the Kappa Cloud, look on the website for all of your resources. Go ahead and start arranging your pre-event training as well as your travel and when you expect to land and all of those types of things. And then just stay in touch with your chapters and your associations, and hopefully everybody has a great Girls Academy. I think that is it. It doesn't look like any more questions have come in. So everybody have a great Sunday. Oh, never mind. Hang on. Never mind. Not a question. All right. So if anybody has anything additional, please let me know. Have a great Sunday evening, and I hope you all have a good holiday if I don't speak to you before then. Bye, everybody.